My screen is visible, right, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in our last lecture, we discussed about 8085 microprocessor pin diagram, right? Now today we want to discuss about 8085 architecture, demultiplexing of buses, generation of control signals, and instruction cycle, right? If you observe your chapter number 3, your module 3, you will find this sub points. Now each and every point we want to discuss here in this module, which is very important to understand what is inside the microprocessor. What we had discussed is what is the individual pins function, right? That we had already discussed with the pin diagram. Okay. Can anyone tell me how this pin diagram can be divided into a signal diagram? What are the major categories? We had already checked for the
Address bus,
yes. Yes. Please go ahead.
address bus, data bus,
Correct.
control and status signal,
Very good.
power supply and frequency, and
Very good.
externally
Yes.
initiate signal.
Very good. Still one more remaining. What are the different category that we discuss? One more, serial input data, serial output data, right? Serial in, serial out, right? So that categories individually we discuss. Okay, can anyone tell me how many bits address line is available in 8085? Yes, Mahek, can you repeat? Your voice is not clear. How many, Mahek? 16 bit. Janvi, correct? Correct. Right, 16-bit address line we are having, which is multiplexed with the data line. So 80 to 87 is address and data line multiplex. And who will demultiplex it? Which signal can be used to demultiplex your address bus and data bus? Viraj. We had discussed one signal or one pin, which was pin number 30. Through that, you can demultiplex your address and data bus, and that signal is very good. Yes, Anjali Chanvi, you can unmute and talk. That is ALE, address latch enable. Very good. Pin number 30 was ALE signal, which is address latch enable. Through that, you can identify whether the available data, available content on the line is address or data, right? Very good. Now, after that, how many signals we discuss, or which are the signals that we had discussed inside control and status signal? Who will name that signal? Make it fast, student. Which are the signals?
IO and M bar,
IOM bar, very good. Then
RD bar,
read
WR
bar,
bar,
very good. Read bar, write bar, correct. Then
INTR and INTA bar,
okay. So in control and status signal, we discuss IOM bar, read bar, write bar. Then S0 and S1, that were two status signal, right? Then we move to the interrupt controller, which is how many signals for the interrupt, or which are the signals for the interrupt? Anjali.
Yes, ma'am. We have a trap RST 5.5,
Very
RST
good.
6.5, RST 7.5, and INTR.
Okay, Hitansh, which interrupt signal is having highest priority, Hitansh? If you received interrupt on more than one pin, which signal is having highest priority, or which interrupt is having highest priority? Hitansh,
Non-markable, ma'am.
Non-markable, non-maskable, right?
Non-maskable.
Correct. Non-maskable is having highest priority, and which is the non-maskable out of available?
Ma'am, something. It was like a delta, drift, or I forgot.
So make a note, Hitansh?
Yeah.
Trap signal is having a highest
signal.
priority. Trap signal is having a highest priority, right? Now, out of remaining, which is maskable interrupt, can you tell me about priority, Henil? Which is having higher priority and which is having lowest priority, Henil? Make it fast. Yes, Ritesh, can you answer? Ritesh is available or not? Yes. Yeah. Can you repeat, Ritesh? Your voice is cracking. Okay. RST 7.5, then RST 6.5, then RST 5.5, and the lowest priority is Vani. Which is having lowest priority, Vani? Unmute and talk, Vani, if you are available. Which is having lowest priority? Viraj? Yes, Mahek? Yes. Who is giving answer?
INTR.
INTR. Very good, Ayush. Right? INTR is having a lowest priority. So, along with that, we discuss power supply and frequency signals and serial input data, serial output data. So all this we discuss in detail in our first lecture of pin function. Okay, after that, now today we want to discuss about architecture of 8085. Now architecture, the word architecture is known to you, right? That means now we want to check internally what is available for us and how the process is going on inside the microprocessor. Features we had already discussed, so obviously we will not repeat it. How the features of 8080 microprocessor here we are considering that already we discussed. Generally, for this content architecture of 8085 microprocessor, the question can be asked: draw and explain the functional block diagram or architecture of 8085 microprocessor, right? Generally આપણને એવું it may be possible sometimes we are having a doubt how this question can be asked in exam. So for them it can be asked in 10 marks or 8 marks. Draw and explain the functional block diagram, or you can say architecture of 8085 microprocessor, or it can be a 4 marks question like just explain programming model or just explain few registers. So it can be always asked accordingly. Depending upon the marks given to you, you need to decide how much content you need to write. So whatever right now we will discuss, that is a question of almost 10 marks, 8 to 10 marks, but depends. आपको अगर 4 marks में पूछ रहे हैं, या if question is asked in 6 marks, accordingly you need to write, right? Now suppose if we say what is architecture, so internal logic design of microprocessor is called architecture, right? What we will determines from the architecture that how and when various operations are performed in microprocessor, right? So the aim to select or to aim, the aim to understand the architecture is we want to understand how our microprocessor perform an operation, right? Internal logic design, obviously your microprocessor is nothing but the digital design. So it operates on a logic, and that is called the. If we want to understand what is how this internal logic design is there, we want to understand the processor's architecture, right? So if you can observe here on my screen, this is nothing but the architecture of 8085 microprocessor. Can you see here on screen? Students, are you able to observe this architecture
ma'am.
on my screen?
Yes.
Right? So one by one, each and every section we want to discuss in detail. Draw and explain architecture can be a question, a very broad question, obviously. So in that you need to draw this architecture. Now again, at very first instance, it looks difficult to how to understand this microprocessor or how to draw this architecture, right? But one by one, once you'll observe each and every sections, you will divide it into a certain sections. And if you know the function of each and every section, things will be easy, right? Like say for example, if you'll observe here interrupt controller, we know all the pins, right? Which is related to interrupt. If you'll observe this part, serial IO control, you know these two pins are related to the serial in, serial out, right? If we know about registers, so this register array sections that will be known to us. If we'll understand a function of ALU, arithmetic and logical unit, what we should give as an input to ALU and how we will consider our output. So if we'll check it step by step, things will be easy to memorize, right? So this is nothing but the internal architecture of your 8085 microprocessor. Now take a screenshot of this diagram and keep it in front of you. So once we'll discuss this step by step, you can identify your diagram, right? Take a screenshot of this, everyone. Keep that screenshot in front of you, right? So now, done, students? Yes or no? Acknowledge.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Done. Okay. Now, if you'll observe your whole internal architecture of 8085 microprocessor, it consists of 6 very important blocks. And first is arithmetic and logic unit section. Can you identify it on left hand side? ALU, arithmetic and logical unit section.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. Second
Yes,
important thing is register array. In your architecture on right hand side, you will find all the registers BC, DE, HL, stack pointer, program counter, WZ. All these registers are available on right hand side. Can you observe this in architecture register array? Yes or no? Register array. This is your register array, right? Now, third unit, the timing and control unit, left bottom, you will find this unit where this particular unit will provide you a controlling and timing related information. So signal related to this will observe here in this category. After that, the different block, fourth block for this architecture, you will find that is instruction register and decoder. After your ALU, you will find in between one block that is instruction register and decoder. Is it visible to you, students? Where you will find that block in architecture? Instruction register. Yes, instruction register and decoder. Then finally the interrupt control section and serial IO section on your after your what you say internal data bus. Uske upar ka the part is interrupt control and your serial IO section. So if you'll understand the 6 different blocks, you can understand the whole architecture of 8085 microprocessor, right? So one by one, we'll check each and every sections and then we'll merge this sections function will give us a whole architecture of 8085 microprocessor, right? At very first instance, agar tame, if you think of okay, I want to memorize this architecture, no one can memorize, but now understand different blocks, right? आप these 6 essential blocks जो आपको दिए गए, if you're able to understand the 6 blocks function, easily you can identify the whole internal architecture, right? ALU, register array, timing and control unit, instruction register and decoder, interrupt control, and finally serial IO sections, right? So now one by one we are taking sections. A very first and very important, very basic function of any microprocessor, that is arithmetic and logical unit section. Now, if you'll observe that sections, if you'll observe that arithmetic and logical unit section, it actually includes this 4 part. Can you observe in your architecture? आपको कैसे, how you need to understand? If you consider your arithmetic and logical unit, so you will find the 4 different things that is connected with it. One is accumulator, second is temporary register, flag register. Can you identify, students?
Yeah.
Right? And finally, ALU. So arithmetic and logical unit section consists of arithmetic and logical unit. Along with that, these 3 different registers are connected with ALU, which is accumulator, temporary register, flag register, right? So the whole section, ALU section, consists of these 4 different things, which are the 4 different parts here available. One is arithmetic and logical unit itself, and along with that, accumulator is connected, temporary register is connected, flag register is connected. Now, can anyone tell me what is the use of accumulator? Now right now we want to only focus on the first part, arithmetic logical unit section. Usme there is these 4 things are involved. So one by one we want to understand each and every part. So what do we mean by accumulator? Accumulator क्या है? We had already discussed 2-3 times. That's why I'm asking.
It stores the result of an operation.
Very good. It stored the result of operation. Okay. उसके सिवा? Very good. One thing for the accumulator is clear, that it will store the result. Then, if I'll speak the word accumulator, what comes in your mind? That only you need to discuss.
To collect something, like a lot of things.
Very good. It accumulates the things, right? Accumulator नाम कैसे पढ़ा है? Because it accumulates the data. It stores the data. Okay. Then, okay. In accumulator you can store.
ALU.
Yes. Can you repeat, please?
Default है वो.
Yes, it is a default register for any arithmetic or a logical operation, right? Whenever you are performing any arithmetic or a logical operation, your default register must be accumulator. Very nice. Okay, then.
It is 8-bit register.
Very good. It is a 8-bit register which can store 8-bit data, right? Whenever you are performing any arithmetic or a logical operation, your one data must be stored into register, into accumulator. Another data you can take in any temporary register. See why it is so. You can identify here in your diagram that accumulator is a 8-bit register. दूसरा जो register है, that can be temporary register. Your data will pass from this register to temporary register. So temporary register में कोई दूसरा data होगा. One data is always available in accumulator. 2 inputs that your ALU will take to perform any arithmetic or a logical operation, that one must be from the accumulator, another can be any temporary register, and you are finding your result here in accumulator that you are putting onto the internal bus, and that you will find in your accumulator. We are always saying that accumulator is a part of ALU. That's why for any arithmetic or a logical unit operation, your one data must be stored into the register, right? So one by one, आपने जो भी points बोले, that all you can write for the accumulator. and that is nothing but your accumulator's description. It is a 8-bit register and part of ALU. It symbolized through A. मैंने काफी बार देखा है students they are writing ACC. For the accumulator, they are writing ACC, but the symbol that is identified for the accumulator is A, right? Now in 8085, operation one data must be, as we discussed, it is your accumulator is nothing but a part of ALU. So whenever you are performing any arithmetic or a logical operation, your one data must be stored into accumulator and you will find your result in accumulator. Any doubt student here in these 4 points? आप लोगों ने बोला है that points right, just I listed out here. Any doubt here in this?
Clear.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay. Now after this second subsection for ALU section was temporary register. This is also again an 8-bit register. Make sure this PR is not accessible to user. Right? This PR temporary register is for the internal operation of the microprocessor. We cannot store or we cannot take the data from TR. Can you understand? What I'm trying to tell you is, whenever you are performing any arithmetic or a logical operation, your one data must be stored into the accumulator. Another data will be available to ALU through TR. Now TR is internal to the microprocessor. This excess of this is not for user, right? User cannot store or it cannot retrieve any data from temporary register. It is only for the internal operation of your microprocessor. It is not accessible to the user, right? Any doubt student here in TR? Okay, can you tell me how many bits it may have?
Ma'am, what is mu p in this statement?
Mu p is microprocessor. पूरा microprocessor लिखना every time is not convenient. That's why I'm mentioning mu p, microprocessor. Thank you for asking. Okay. Who was asking? Mike?
Yes, ma'am. Mu.
Okay. So mu p is microprocessor, students. Good. Okay. So TR, what do you think? वो size क्या होगा TR का? 8-bit, 16-bit. What can be the size?
8-bit.
Very good. It is always 8-bit. Why? Because your ALU itself, arithmetic and logical unit that can perform operation onto the data that is 8-bit only. So whatever the data you are getting from accumulator or temporary register, that must be of 8-bit, right? So any doubt here in TR?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then arithmetic and logical unit itself perform an arithmetic and a logical operation, right? Now about ALU, if I want to write something, that depends upon the process that I'm performing through ALU. Again, I'm repeating my statement. Suppose if I say, what is ALU, arithmetic and a logical unit, which will perform operation like ending, ORing, XORing, that is a logical operation. Inverting, again, can be considered as logical operation. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, divide, you can divide the number also, you can rotate, you can shift. So all this operation will be performed inside the arithmetic and logical control unit, from where it will take the data for the operation. So it can be from accumulator and temporary register, and where it will send the data, where it will send the result, that will be always available into accumulator, right? Now after this, the last part of this ALU section is flag register. If I say ALU includes 5 flip-flops which are set or reset after an operation according to the data condition of the result in accumulated to other registers. Can we understand the meaning of this statement? Just read it twice and let me know how you will understand from this statement, what you are understanding. It is about FR, flag register. So in each and every line, there is some information. What you are getting from that lines, just tell me, just discuss with me.
Like it will have 5 1 bit flip-flops, so it will show 5 different kinds of flags. So LELU will indicate and will be stored in the flag register. Like if there
Very
is a carry in
correct.
addition, then
Correct.
so whatever the data it will get from accumulator, and the ALU will perform the logic operation. And if there is a carry or anything, then it will send using the flip-flops in the ALU to the flag register.
Very good. Who is giving answer?
Me,
Name, please. Because right now
Ritesh.
I'm Ritesh. Very good, right? Whatever I want to communicate with you, almost each and everything is included here in discussion. Flag register, if we'll say, it is the register. Obviously, with microprocessor, the size of each and every register that we are using, that is of 8-bit, right? Excluding two memory pointers, stack pointer and program counter. बाकी जितने भी registers if we'll consider in 8085 microprocessor, the size of registers are 8-bit. But out of this 8-bit flag register, 3 bits are don't care. So only 5 flags we are having, 5 status bits we are having. So that is 5 flip-flops, right? हमको पता है कि whenever register is made, right? आप ये बोल रहे हो ना register is what? Group of flip-flop, right? Now how many flip-flops you are connecting? Flip-flop can store how many bits at a time? Flip-flop can store how many bits at a time?
1 bit.
1 bit at a time, right? So you have to connect how many flip-flops to make 8-bit register? 8 flip-flop,
8.
right? Suppose if you want to make a 16-bit register, you need to connect 16 different flip-flops, right? So in ALU, we are having a flag through ALU, will get some result after operation, after performing arithmetic and a logical operation, you will find your result, right? So once you will find your result, the status of your result, whether it is positive, negative, whether it is 0 or non-zero, whether it is having carry or not, all this status you can check through flag register, right? Very important register. But this register, obviously the register that we are using in 8085 microprocessor, all the registers size is 8-bit, but out of this 8-bit, 3 bits are don't care. So 5 flags we are having. Which are the flags we'll see here in next slide, right? Now depending upon the status that we are getting in our result, our flag flip-flop out of this 5, our flag out of this 5 flip-flops, the flip-flop will be set or reset. अगर मैं ये बोलूँ कि flip-flop set हो रहा है मतलब the output is 1. If I say flip-flop is reset, that means your output is 0. So depending upon the status that you will identify for your result, this condition of the flip-flop you will check, right? So always the condition, the data condition, the results condition, you can identify by checking your flag register, right? Now how to check for the flag register? Before that, how many flags we are having? So the list is given here: 0, carry, sign, parity, auxiliary carry. These 5 flags we are having, right? Now 5 flags we are having. This flag is made up of 1 flip-flop. So 5 flip-flops are used, which will give you this condition of this flags. But it doesn't mean that we are having a register size 5. Again, I'm repeating one more time that your flag register includes 8-bit because we are using 8-bit processor. But out of this 8-bit, we are using only 5 bits, right? Now, how many flags we are having? This is a list: 0, carry, sign, parity, and auxiliary carry. Right now, what is the meaning of individual and what is the format of flag that we want to check? So if you'll observe your 8085 microprocessor's flag register, it will be like this. As I discussed, that the size of your register is 8 bit, D0 bit, D1 bit, D2 bit, like up to D7 bit. अगर आपके फ्लैग रजिस्टर में, try to understand this very clearly. So many times it can be asked in exam, as well as whenever you will interface this is, or whenever you will program your processor, it is very useful information that you will get through flag, right? Always you need to check the condition of flag. Now out of this 8 bit, the position is fixed for each and every flag. Again, I am repeating, your flag register is of 8 bit. Out of 8 bit, D1, D3 and D5 are don't care. If I say don't care, the meaning of don't care is it can be 0. Don't care का मतलब सबको पता है, आप K-map में don't care condition put करते थे. It can be 0 or it can be 1. Yes or no? आप डिजिटल में के मैप में डोंट केयर पुट करते थे ना, तो दैट डिपेंड्स कि अगर दैट इज यूजफुल फॉर अस टू कंबाइन सम इनपुट्स, देन विल कीप इट 1, अदरवाइज विल कीप इट 0. सो डोंट केयर कैन बी, these are the don't cares. So don't care can be 0 or it can be 1. Now who will decide that this don't care should be 0 or it can be 1? So at the time of manufacturing, the manufacturer will decide that this my bits should be D1, D3 and D5 should be 1 or 0. It may be possible that D5, this don't care can be 0, this don't care can be 1, this don't care can be 0 or 1, 0, 0 like that, right? So any combination can be possible with this 3 bit because they are don't care. Okay. Now after that, one by one check here bit. D0 bit is which bit? Carry bit, right? Now when this flag will be set or reset in your flag register, what you will identify through this bit and how this bit will be set or reset. Understand it very clearly. This is your carry flag. Can you check here the description? Set if there was a carry during addition or borrow during a subtraction or comparison, right? So carry bit will be set to 1. This bit will be set to 1 if we are performing any arithmetic or logical operation and there is a carry out of your 8 bit. If carry is generated from the result or borrow is generated from the subtraction, at that time this bit will be considered as 1. Otherwise the condition of this will be 0. Am I communicating, students?
Ma'am, one doubt is there.
Yes, better. Please tell.
Are these flip-flops are kind of RS or JS or DD? Which
Generally, these are the data flip-flop, D flip.
Okay.
Data flip-flop, right? Generally, for the memory, it is general. For the design of any memory, the flip-flops that are used is data flip-flop, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Okay. So now we are taking one example. We want to check how carry is generated and where we can find its equivalent bit. Suppose this is my number 1010 means binary 1010 is for A. Yes or no?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
1100 is C. 1010 again A. And 010 is 5. I want to add this two number and I want to check my result. Alright. Now suppose if I'll add this two number, binary addition सबको पता है ना कैसे होता है? 0 plus 1 is binary addition is known to you, or should I write here? 0 plus 0 is
0,
0,
0. 0 plus 1 is
1,
1,
1. 1 plus 0,
1,
1. 1 plus 1,
0,
One.
carry,
0,
0 carry.
okay. So 1 plus 1, your sum is 0 and carry is
carry
1.
1,
Correct. right? Now jo apply same logic, 0 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 1, 1,
0,
0, carry is generated, 1, 1,
0,
0, some 0, carry 1, very good, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0,
0.
and carries 1.
Oh.
Right? So whenever you are performing any arithmetic or a logical operation, your result is stored in the accumulator. Obviously, accumulator में कितने bits है? It is having 8 bit. So this 8 bit result will stored in accumulator. जो आपका 8 bit result है वो कहाँ पे store होगा? Accumulator में. But the carry is generated after performing addition operation, carry is generated. So वो carry कहाँ पे reflect होगा? So that will always reflect here in carry bit. D0 bit of your plague register is 1. That means you need to understand that results whenever I am performing arithmetic operation at that time, the result includes carry. Right? यहाँ पे carry generate हो रहा है. Obviously in result I will not find. In accumulator I cannot observe that carry. But in flag register, I'll check my D0 bit, and if it is 1, that means carry bit is, my result is having a carry. Students, is it clear? If your result will not generate any carry, the status of this bit will be always 0. It will be in reset mode. Your D0 bit of flag register will be reset if you are performing addition or a subtraction operation, and if carry or borrow is not generated, so this bit is reset. It is having a value 0. But if carry or borrow is generated from the result, you will find that status here in carry bit. Right? So I hope I'm clear with this discussion. Any doubt, student, here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now after that, very good. After that, your D1 bit is don't care. D2 bit is for parity. Now what we mean by parity is, suppose if you say you are having some result. If you are saying that you are having some result and result is, let's say for example 101, ये result ले लेते हैं. Let's say this is our result. How many number of ones we are having in our result? Depending upon that, we can set even parity or odd parity. Again, I am repeating. Suppose if I say I am setting even parity. Even parity का मतलब क्या है? कि अगर मेरे result में there is an even number of ones, there is an even number of ones, this bit will be set to 1. If I am having a odd number of ones, this bit will be set to 0. Should I repeat one more time? In my result, how many number of ones? 1, 2, 3. So it is even number of ones or odd number of ones? Number of ones are even or odd? Odd. So this will be, this parity will be considered as 0. If suppose in my result I am having 4 ones, that means my parity will be set to 1. Is it clear, student? So parity is what? Set. If the parity, the number of set bits in the result, number of set bit matlab number of ones, set bit matlab ones, you will find is even, then even parity will be set and your parity bit will be set to 1. Should I repeat one more time, students?
Ma'am, why is it required to know that set bits are even or odd? Is it necessary?
Yes. See, when you will find the application of this, let's say for example, if you say you want to check whether your number is even number or odd number. You want to check from the group of set of data, you want to check whether the number is even or odd, right? So if there is an odd number of ones, you can say the number is odd. If there is an even number of ones inside your result, you can say your number is even number, right? So this can be a one application. Obviously, there are so many applications where we need to check this parity bit, right? अगर आपको 1000 का डेटा दिया है उसमें से आपको इवन नंबर्स एंड ओड नंबर्स सेपरेट करने हैं, you can definitely use this, right? If you'll find your numbers are even, your set bits are 1, that means you can say the number is odd, otherwise it can be considered as even, right? Gradually we will check for the programs and application where we have to check this bit, right? अभी के लिए आपको समझ में आ गया कैसे, how can we use that bits, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now after that, again D3 bit is don't care. Check for D4, it is auxiliary carry. Now what is the meaning of auxiliary carry here? If you say you are adding two numbers, you are performing an addition operation or a subtraction operation, for example. If your carry is propagated from D3 to D4, understand it very clearly. If your carry is propagated from lower nibble to higher nibble, again I am repeating, whenever you are performing an addition operation, and if you say your carry is generated from lower nibble to higher nibble, यहाँ से यहाँ carry propagate हो रहा है, that means your auxiliary carry flag will be set to 1. Am I communicating? Right? Suppose यहाँ पे आपका number है 1 1, तो 1 1, the result is 0 and carry is 1. That means carry is propagated from lower nibble to higher, lower order 4 bit to higher order 4 bit, or from D3 bit to D4 bit. If this kind of condition occurs, your auxiliary carry flag will be set to 1. Is it clear, student? कब auxiliary carry flag set होगा? If there was a carry out from bit 3 to bit 4, right? यहाँ पे during the addition of 88 bit, if carry is propagated from the lower order 4 bit to higher order 4 bit, at that time you can say if this kind of function will be there or this kind of operation will be there, at that time your AC, auxiliary carry flag, will be set to 1. Is it clear, student?
Yes.
AC is clear, student, correct? Now, if you will think in detail, this auxiliary carry flag is not helpful to user. Can anyone tell me why? We cannot keep any condition, or we cannot check this auxiliary carry flag for further operations or for further decision. Why? Here we can check whether the carry is generated from the lower nibble to higher nibble or not. But this ultimately cannot be helpful for us to take any decision. Can anyone tell me why? Rahul, what do you think? Janvi? Yes. What do you think? If I say auxiliary carry flag is not for user, am I giving correct statement? Yes, sir. What do you think, students? Anjali? No idea, no idea. Okay. See, understand it. Ki, suppose if you say you are checking here the condition, you are checking here the condition of auxiliary carry flag that is in between 4 bits, right? If your lower order 4 bits is generating some carry and that lower order 4 bits carry is propagated to higher order 4 bit, so auxiliary carry flag will be set to 1. But Is it for us because we are dealing with the operation which is of 8 bit, right? आपको result reflect कब होगा? When all 8 bit is performed, yes or no? पूरे के पूरे 8 bit पे operation हो जाएगा, then you will find your result.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So in between, whenever your 4 bit is operated and you will find some status, so that status is not ultimately not important for us. Why? Because that is the reflection of your result after operating on 4 bits. Am I communicating, students?
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
Right? So ultimately auxiliary carry flag is not used by the user to check any condition or to take any decision, right? I cannot decide my condition after checking 4 bit because I'm using 8 bit processor. So obviously I need to check the condition of each and every bit after operating each and every bit of my result or of my data, right? So in between 4 bit को मैंने perform कर लिया और 4 bit का जो result reflect हो रहा है उसके ऊपर से I cannot take any decision or I cannot put any condition, right? So this is not available to user auxiliary carry flag, but in a way we are getting this status. कभी troubleshooting के लिए we can use, right? Whenever you are operating and you find that manually you are calculating and you will find the carry from lower order 4 bit, but in processor you will not get it at that time. For the troubleshooting point of view you can use this bit, otherwise that is not for the user, right? So I hope I'm clear with this 3 bit carry, parity and auxiliary carry. Make sure this format must be known to us. We cannot put D0, we cannot put carry bit here in D7, right? This format is fixed, right? In flag register, where you have to check carry, that place is fixed in D0 bit. Okay, students, so this format must be clear to us. Carry, don't care, parity, don't care, auxiliary carry, don't care. Now last 2 bit, that is D6 and D7. D6 bit is generally through D6 bit of your flag register, you will generally find that your answer is 0 or non-zero. Whenever you are performing any operation, and you are getting your result is 0, the 0 bit will be set to 1, otherwise it will remain 0. Again I am repeating, if you find your 0 bit is non-zero, that means you are getting some answer. If your answer is 0, that means your 0 flag is set to 1. Is it clear, student? 0 is set if the result is 0. Suppose if you are subtracting two numbers 25 minus 25, so your answer will be 0. So at that time your 0 flag will be set to 1, otherwise it will remain 0. Is it clear, student? D6 bit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Last bit of flag register is D7. D7 bit is sign bit. Now if you say whenever you will you are dealing with the sign numbers, what is sign number, what is unsigned number, वो आपने I think digital में पढ़ा होगा, right? What is sign number, what is unsigned number? Generally sign number किसको बोलते हैं कि अगर आपके पास 8 bit का डेटा है, then magnitude मतलब आपकी जो value है that is included in D0 to D6 and last bit is for sign. If number is negative, the sign is 1. If number is positive, the sign is 0. Right? So that will be considered as signed number. But in case of unsigned number, the whole 8 bit will be considered for the magnitude only. अगर मुझे 55 को represent करना है, then I'll find 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So whole 8 bit I'll use to represent my magnitude. But if I say I'm using sign number, मतलब मुझे मेरे magnitude को कितने bit में represent करना है out of 8 bit? Students, what I'm trying to tell you is sign number, yes. साइन नंबर और अनसाइन नंबर का डिफरेंस समझ रहे हो? सपोज इफ यू से यू आर हैविंग 8 बिट्स, 8 बिट में D0 to D7 टोटल 8 बिट्स आपके पास है. You will use this whole 8 bit to represent your magnitude. Represent your magnitude मतलब आपको 55 को represent करना है, तो आपने सारे बिट में all 8 bit you are using to represent your 55. आप ऐसे स्टोर करोगे. But if I say my number is signed numbers, that means suppose minus 55 is my number. So what I'll do is I'll represent my magnitude 55 को मैं ये 7 बिट में रिप्रेजेंट करूंगी. लास्ट 1 बिट आई कीप फॉर द साइन. यस और नो स्टूडेंट्स?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So generally this concept you had already learned in your digital electronics subject. Now what here I'm trying to tell you is whenever you are adding two numbers or whenever you are subtracting two numbers and that numbers you are considering that is sign, you need to consider your D7 bit of flag register. If you say your number is negative, this bit is 1. For the negative number, your sign bit is 1. For the positive number, your sign bit is 0. Right? So this D7 bit will give you an idea whether your number is positive or negative. If number is negative, S is equal to 1. If it is 0, that means your number is positive. So sign bit is set if the most significant bit MSB, that is most significant bit of result is set. अगर आपका D7 bit of flag register is 1 है, if your number is negative, you can say your sign bit is 1. If your number is positive, your sign bit is 0. So any doubt here, student, in any flag? Is it clear to everyone? When particular flag will set or reset? I want acknowledgement from everyone. Is it clear, student, or should I repeat any point?
Clear, ma'am.
Ma'am, if we want to represent a signed number which is itself of 8 bits, then how can we represent?
See here, whatever operation here you will represent, Ritesh, whatever operation you are performing, that is with unsigned number, right? But
Okay.
suppose to answer to the answer of your question is, suppose if we say you are considering 8 bit data, so the maximum number that you can represent with your 8 bit flip flop is, Ritesh, what is the maximum number that you can
Like-
represent through 8 bit?
8 ones.
8 ones, very good. FF, you can say. FF.
Yeah, FF.
00 to FF, right? So after 8000, so after 7F, you will find all numbers are negative. Are you getting me? 00 to 7F, your last bit is 0. Your MSB is 0. 00 to 7F, your last bit is 0. But after 7F, if you will consider 80 to FF, all the numbers you will consider that will that you can keep like negative number. Am I communicating, Ritesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? आप अपने 8 बिट से अगर साइन नंबर को रिप्रेजेंट करोगे, then you will find 000 to 7F, all the numbers are positive because its last bit is 0. But if you consider 80 to FF, MSB will be 1, so that will be considered as negative number, right?
So like it's minus 128 to plus
Yes,
127.
yes, correct, very good, right? Still you want detail of this, just remind me in lab, I'll show you through flag register, right? Okay student, any more discussion on this point? So I hope today's lecture is clear to everyone. So with that we had completed our first section, first section, arithmetic and logical unit section. Remaining 5 still we need to discuss. So probably tomorrow we'll discuss a second block for our architecture, right? Any doubt, student? Just wait for a while. I'm taking the attendance.